Welcome to Lashback, everyone. I'm Natalyan.
And I'm Phoebe. And this week, we're going to do more on what it's like being a Brit living abroad. Now, that's not just the US, which is where you are now, it's also Australia. So, kick us off, Nat. What have you got to say about that?
Yeah, so every day I see differences, in language, even down to silly little things. Not sure this is appropriate, but like bog roll, toilet roll. Even if I say toilet roll, no one understands. It has to be toilet paper. Or if I'm going
Oh,
for,
really?
yeah, it's not just toilet related things. But I think that the difference for me, and I've always said this, is that the best things about the UK I don't like about the USA and Australia, but the best things I like about the USA or Australia in different realms, I really uh, don't like about the UK. So talking about the bad things, and you can relate to this as well from your traveling, is the tipping culture in the USA.
Yeah.
It's something you have to understand, and I understand it more now. I mean, what's
And
your
budget for.
Yeah, and budget for. So give me your experience as well, and I'll tell you whether it's similar to mine.
Well, I remember once being in New York with a friend having cocktails in a bar, and in Brooklyn, and the cocktails were really expensive, and we were both really skint, and we paid the service charge that was on the receipt, but we didn't give an extra tip. And as we were leaving, the waiter came up and asked us if there was anything wrong with the service because we didn't give him extra. And I remember feeling really affronted because I'm like, well, we paid the service charge that's on your receipt, and I haven't got any more money to give you. And there was nothing wrong with your service, but this is like all hidden charges, really. But I don't like a hidden charge.
No, see, the service charge, it depends where you go as well, because where I am in South Carolina, the service charge is the tip, but the tip is generally, 15-20%,
Yeah,
which is
20.
a lot of money. And the way that I've seen it is I've even gone to pick up a takeaway. So I'm doing the service and they've wanted a tip. And I'm like, no.
It's like VAT as well.
Yeah.
I remember being really, really young. First time I was ever in America, I was at Disneyland in LA, and I wanted to buy a Mickey. I was like 11, on holiday with a friend's family. So I didn't have my mum or anything with me. And I wanted to buy like a Mickey Mouse doll, Minnie Mouse doll,
Oh,
or t-shirt or something. And I had the money for it. And then at the cash point, it was more because obviously I hadn't calculated the plus VAT. Now, I can't do maths in public. Like literally can't do maths in public. So you want me to do maths whilst I'm shopping? Just tell me the final price
no,
on the label when I'm choosing. I get
it's
very annoyed when
crazy.
things aren't priced as well because I'm like, I just can't decide because.
I remember when I first went to Vegas, and if you're looking, and this goes for most hotels, and it's different in different states because they have state taxes. So you'll have a tax, a state tax. Like even when I paid my personal or corporation tax bill here, I had to pay my tax bill, and I didn't know I got a late notice for the door from South Carolina state tax. I'm like, but I thought I paid my tax. I thought that was included. Someone should have told me that because they it was a final warning.
Oh,
But the first time I remember going to Vegas and I stayed in a hotel, and you look up the price of the hotel and it's $100 a night. And then at the end of my however long stay, if it was 4 nights, for example, it should be 400. But it wasn't. It was 400 plus this, and this. I'm like, what? That's like an extra $100.
and you're not allowed to do that in this. I think it's an EU thing. You're not allowed to hide charges. You have to say right up front at the
Yeah,
point of choice to pay
yeah.
what the actual charge is.
That they do, but it's still insane. So if I order a takeaway, for example, here, and I've used, Uber Eats in America and I've used Uber Eats in England, you might have a delivery fee, which would be quite small. But if you look at like my food might be $40. By the end of it, it's like $70. No, no word of a lie. You've got your delivery fee, your service fee, your tax, your local tax or whatever that is, and then a tip.
Because you don't do like you don't have direct debits in America, do you?
It's called auto pay.
Ah,
So it's the same thing, but it's not where it depends where you live. Every state's different, but here my
that's
auto
the
pays
issue,
never
isn't
come
it?
out on the right, they never come out on the day they say. Whereas in England it's like clockwork.
Yeah,
Like all my bills
direct
come
debit.
the first, and if it's a bank holiday, it might come out later on that day or very first thing the next day, but it comes out. My direct debit for like my pension, for example, is set for the first, and it came out last month on the 20th.
What? There are
I know.
computer doing it.
I know it's crazy. This is what I say. There's some incredible. I love America. I love Australia because I lived in Australia. If anyone as listeners didn't know that, and there's good and bad. If you could combine all the goods, it'd be the perfect country if you created a new country. But like the banking system here is crazy to me. It's
And the DMV, I hear, getting
it's
a
it,
driving license and like moving states and stuff is a nightmare.
it's a complete nightmare. But I mean, setting up a new bank account, I went in there and they said, well, you've got to put in, $50 to open the account. I give him my card for my other bank. He's like, no, no, I need cash. So I had to drive to the ATM, pay a charge, and drive back and hand the cash. And I also have to use two banks to transfer money quickly to the UK because one of them doesn't let me do an international transfer for less than 2 weeks. So
Convoluted.
it's very convoluted.
So
But
that's the banking system. What
mm,
what else
so
about
I've
your life?
I've done a little list. Let's say some things that I absolutely adore. Like I love their sporting culture in America and that kind of community, like Friday night football. In a little small town, they'll all go. The whole town will be there, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. And it's a big affair. It's a big event. And when football season comes round, like when there's a college football game, the Gamecocks or Clemson is where I live. Um, University college teams that are on TV, they're massive. Like we don't have that in the UK.
No.
Our university teams wouldn't be on TV. They all go, and you can't even. No one's on the streets. Someone's either at home watching it with a group, and they've got all wings, and they've got all food, and they've got all these different things and beers, or they'll be in a bar. It's. I really like that the whole community comes together for that. I mean,
I
we
think
do for England.
it probably used to be like that in this country with like cricket and football. You know what it's like cricket on the green in the middle of the village and everyone goes because it's Sunday or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different scale.
different scale indeed.
Yeah. And I think that the way that you can go to school here and specialize in a sporting subject or subject and have that path as a scholarship to college or university in our language is really significant. Like if you focus on, even sailing or the
Mm.
bigger sports, baseball, football, you can get a what they call a free ride to college. And then you can play on in a big stadium. I mean, they have big stadiums.
Yeah, because college football being, I think my my friend I won't mention her name actually, but this friend of mine who's got 4 kids. Her 2 eldest sons are currently playing American football for Great Britain in not Czechoslovakia, real, in Prague. And I
Showcase.
think yeah, that's using the country name from like 1989. Where the hell am I? I do watch the news. I do understand current affairs. Terribly sorry, Czech people, for getting that wrong. Um, but yeah, I think they had some form of um support, not not scholarship. I'm not sure actually. I think there's
It's
maybe
just
some schemes,
more.
but not necessarily on the same scale.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I think, I don't, I'm sure there are ways of getting scholarships in UK, but not in the same scale. Everything's bigger in America, right?
And
Where
it's
you can,
academic probably rather than sport.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure, but there's more ways to get a free path, right? A free ride, sorry, to college and really kind of make something of your life in that respect.
Although
Um,
it's so much more expensive. So
it is so much more expensive. That's why you want that free ride.
Yeah.
You know, and I always said that if I lived in the USA, and I don't know how you'd feel about this, but a lot of people that I know that were in the military. I'm in a place where there's a lot of military or
Yeah.
ex-military. They'll go into the military and train in the military. So if you want to be a lawyer, you'll go and train in the
Yeah.
military, and that paid
Same.
for doctor, and you could do that.
Yeah.
And I just think, and you get amazing, even when you retire or leave and go into civilian life, you're always going to be a veteran. So you're always going to get veteran style mortgages. You're going to get veteran
And you may
health.
get drafted to war, which is so that's like a small price to
Yeah,
pay. Thank you.
you have it for life, and so do your family. So
As you
yeah,
should,
yeah,
given that you
I
might put
agree.
your life on the line.
Yeah,
You have that here as well. And the navies are really good. I know somebody who went uh joined the navy and they paid for their engineering degree.
yeah.
And then the commitment is you have to work for the navy for 3 or 4 years
X
afterwards.
amount of years.
Yeah,
You know,
it's cool,
yeah.
man.
I don't know if you know this about me. I nearly joined the RAF.
Did you?
I got accepted. Yeah.
Would you have flown a plane?
So I went in for search and rescue pilot. And I'll tell you why I did. I was lost because I almost got this record deal and then I lost it and I went to Cyprus, came back. I didn't know what to do with my life. I was completely lost. And I went to this careers fair and they were there and I thought, this is cool.
That's how they get you. If you're feeling lost, the most like depressed towns in like North Wales got like army recruitment by the train station. You're like,
It was
okay, this
brilliant
is
though. It was brilliant. I even went to RAF Cranwell for all the recruitment phases. I
wow.
had to do interviews. I had to do a simulation, like with a joystick, and I had to
Wow.
stay there. But I probably shouldn't be saying this. But the thing that put me off, and I finally decided not to do, which sometimes I regret, is that because I was going to be trained as a pilot, a search and rescue pilot in like a Chinook, I'd have to stay for 12 years. And at that age, I was 23.
No, that's a big
It
commitment.
felt like a lifetime. And they also said, which they probably wouldn't say now, like women can't wear makeup. Um, your music career will not be your focus now. And I'm like, well, no, it's always going to be my priority.
But but to like go off topic, and maybe this is worthy of an episode in a future date. When we make decisions when we're lost, they're not
No,
authentic decisions, are they? Because we're lost.
no,
And
I didn't
actually,
want
the
to
first
say
thing we
that.
have to do is find ourselves again, and then we know. But it
Yeah,
sounds like you went through that experience,
it was a
and
great
that helped
experience.
you find yourself because you're like, wow, I've been confronted with a choice of not doing the music. Oh no, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
helps you find that in a
yeah.
way.
And I sometimes have regretted it when I've been in other lost stages because I like the idea of that family unit, and it was really interesting. But when I went to RAF Cranwell, they I had to stay over, and they shouted in the morning to get me up, and I thought I can't deal with that. That was the key. But on the
Do you remember that
USA,
film? Sorry to interrupt.
that's right.
Goldie Hawn film, Private
Yep,
Benjamin.
yep.
I
That would have been
loved
me.
that movie growing up, and because of that movie, I'd never ever considered ever
Oh,
joining
that,
the
yeah, yeah.
army. I
Well, I was really into Top Gun at the
know
time
it
as well.
too.
I was into Top Gun, so that really influenced my decision to go try and do it.
Yeah, interesting.
I could have met my Tom Cruise there, but it wasn't meant to be. But on the we'll have another episode about other countries as such. But do you know what I also really love about America is autumn, winter, because you've got Halloween, which they make a big deal about.
Yeah,
They have Thanksgiving, and then straight after Thanksgiving, you got Christmas. Love it.
that is good.
And Thanksgiving's a wonderful.
Although the whole gravy thing is confusing.
Yeah, but I don't adhere to that. Explain.
We know what gravy is in this country, and we know what biscuits are.
Yeah.
And then I go and get like stodgy cake and white sauce, and they call it biscuits and gravy. I'm like, no,
No.
it tastes nice and everything, but you've named it wrong. You've named it
And
wrong.
it's so funny you said that because I think I might have had this debate even a week ago with one of my best friends over here. And I'm like, no, it does not make sense.
It's not bloody gravy.
It has to be Bisto.
What's this though?
I love Bisto. But you know what's great though is that Thanksgiving, I don't know if you've ever had a Thanksgiving. Have you?
I've done a Canadian Thanksgiving.
Is that the same? So their
A bit
their
earlier.
dinner, their dinner is pretty much like our Christmas dinner.
Yes.
But their Christmas dinner, if you go to every household, every dinner is completely utterly different. Whereas in the UK, bar the odd thing, they're pretty much the same. It's certainly the trimmings, you know.
Yeah, indeed. Although sometimes somebody will say, "Oh no, we're going to do this for Christmas." What, you're not going to have a turkey? I did a curry one year. It was great. I made a
I wouldn't
biryani.
have come. I wouldn't have come. And I once, when I moved back from Australia, I stayed, and I hope these friends are not listening because they'll probably figure out who they are. They invited me for Christmas dinner, and I went, and I was really upset because there were no, and you would not like this, Phoebe, being vegan. There were no pigs in blankets, and it's or stuffing, and it's not
The
Christmas dinner.
listeners not in the UK, pigs in blankets and sausages wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, pigs in blankets here is almost like a hot dog sausage wrapped in pastry. Look, they
That's
got
a
that.
sausage roll.
Yes, it's still not the same. I'm gonna have to send you a picture. It's not the same. It's not the
I
same.
mean, this is why we travel, isn't it? To experience different things. And on that note, I mean, there's so much more we can talk about. Let's talk about this at another date.
We're gonna do
Um,
more Brits abroad because this is the more Brits abroad.
and it's inspiring me to get abroad again. I'd love to talk about in my experiences of India at some point.
Well, I'm waiting for you to visit me so we can do a gig. Just saying.
Let's go.
I'll schedule. All right. Well, more Brits abroad is going to be coming up, and we're going to talk about other countries as well that we've experienced, and we want to hear from the listeners, guys.
Yeah. Take it easy, guys. See you next week.
Take it easy. Bye bye.